Thank you, and welcome to our Hiku Community Board meeting here today in Seattle. I'd like to put on Rachel Hockey to do an open prayer, please.
Awesome. Thank you. E tia tō homai kia mātou, tō rangi Māori, tō aroha, tō kaha, tō maramatanga mō tēnei rā. God, give us your peace, your understanding, your wisdom as we make these decisions for our community. Amen.
Amen. Excellent. I have two apologies, one from Councillor Boyd and one from Councillor Guerrero. Yeah. Thank you. All in favour?
Right.
So now.
Oh, I've got a conflict in Aroha.
Okay.
Just some printing.
All in favour?
No.
So go on to conflict form, and now we can put this. Zan to talk to us about placemaking. Yes.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
5 minutes. Thank you.
I am pitching an idea of perhaps setting up a placemaking group, like a volunteer-based group in Kaitaia. I've been living in Kaitaia for about 8 years. It's great, like with beaches and all that. But oftentimes, we are talking to people, especially like migrants. Or people that moving to Kaitaia, they find that it's quite hard to meet people, and it's not, no avenues for us to meet the locals or get together. And I feel like there are opportunities for us to do more. So when I was in PAMI, I was a student there for 5 years, and there's a thriving placemaking group in PAMI. And so we had events like big parties, events where we get together and decorate streets and like outdoor seminars and things like that, where we can, meet other people and bond with everyone in the community. And I feel like there are groups out there, and the council are doing great things like building parks and then we've got like the Eco Center, which I'm part of as well. So I feel like, perhaps if there's a group that can work with council and the existing groups, perhaps coordinating these different groups together, and also come up with ideas to do more, I think we can actually make Kaitaia more livable. So so I've never been part of such groups. So I'm not experienced in leading such groups, but I'm happy to spend my time in part, in setting up and running groups like this. So I know KBA is doing something similar as well, but I don't know whether we should do it under KBA or having it separate to KBA, because I feel like maybe what we're trying to achieve might be slightly different. But open to ideas.
Through the chair, I'm part of the KBA as well. I think that's probably the best platform to start the discussion. We would welcome you at a meeting, and you can hear about what we're planning and what we're trying to do. And I suppose in that space, I suppose the question is around placemaking. Are you wanting to build things, or are you just wanting to create events?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit okay. But I do think KBA is your best starting point, and I don't mind sharing today's information, and then we'll throw a invite out to you to pop along to one of our meetings, maybe.
But that's during work hours, right?
It's usually at 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. on the last Wednesday of every month. Yeah. So it's only for an hour, and you can Zoom in. But it's definitely the starting block, because there's a lot of people trying to do that type of work separately, and maybe they just get together, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so there are groups in place, and I like the concept and we love volunteers and help. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So, and I do believe that's the best place to start.
Yeah.
And it's actually your lucky day, because sitting behind you, those two ladies there are the placemaking team for council. So perhaps if you've got his name, Jay, he may be in contact with you one day, maybe. Yeah.
And through the chair too, like placemaking is probably not quite the right word for it. But I don't know about Shine On Kaitaia.
Yeah.
They're very, very community. Have you heard about Shine On? Yeah, they're very community-based, event planning, what all of the stuff that you're talking about, and they're always willing volunteers.
Okay.
They love ideas. They're open to all sorts of ideas. Like, they're a really great group. So, you know, if you want to get in contact with them as well. They're great coordinators of events too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions for you?
Is it Sean? Can I get his information later?
Yeah, I can send it.
Yeah.
If you like.
Yeah. Just add your email address as well. If you could, please. Maybe I can contact you.
Sorry, I'm John Stewart, by the way. Yeah, and I'll follow that up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's no deputation. We're now up to the speakers for funding applications, and now I'll call on Teresa Bond. She's speaking on behalf of the Bald Angels. Welcome, Teresa.
Pakara Bald Angels Charitable Trust. Our vision is together we can make a difference and all tamariki thrive. We all know poverty is real here, and the knock-on effects are layers of trauma, and these lead to generational burdens on our communities. Although food and gifts on their own don't fix the problem, the awhi and support provided by the agencies who deliver these gifts help lift people up, provide comfort, relieve stress, and potentially reduce harm at a time of year that often increases stress. Approximately 400 whānau and over 1,200 tamariki across Te Tai Tokoro are identified by Angel Partners for Angel Christmas services. These partners are Police Plunket, Women's Refuge, iwi Social Services, health and education providers. They register whānau they've been working with who they believe are most in need and deserving of the support. In the Te Hiku area, we work with 7 social service partners for Christmas. Last Christmas, we supported 136 Te Hiku whānau and 499 of their tamariki with kai boxes and gifts. We plan to do similar numbers this year. The Bald Angels model of care is designed as a hand up, not a handout. We've developed trusting relationships with those partners over 12 years, and we're assured that all whānau receive wraparound support. So this is a social investment that reduces future costs to our community. As the more we connect with and support our vulnerable tamariki, the more chance they have to thrive. Bringing communities together and encouraging whānau to take the hands of those resources to provide support and guidance, and actually just showing up without any notice to say, we see you, we value you, that matters. We've had reports from police saying relationships are strengthened and harm is likely avoided. Plunkett reports families who finally welcomed them in, allowing professionals to identify and address need. Social workers report profound relief and gratitude and witness whānau able to experience joy and connection due to the gifts of Kai. And each year, I heard you like volunteers. Each year, we have over 100 volunteers on the 2 days that this project takes place, including groups from Te Hiku, all working together to make a difference for tamariki across our rohi. It's pretty special and it's a testament to our community spirit. Now the pūtea. We received a donation of mints valued at $19,000, which is currently in cool storage in Kaitaia. But our Kai shopping budget for 2024 is still just under $50,000. In spite of recent funder responses, our board has just approved proceeding with a target of 400 whānau because how can we not? We have just last week raised our own Angel community fundraising target to 32,000. On top of that, we're requesting 3,000 from Te Hiku Community Board. Approximately 500 of your local tamariki will have a better chance of thriving with your support. Thank you for the opportunity to share the Angel Christmas kaupapa. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Any questions, please?
Can I have one? If we can give some donation for that cause.
Nice.
Did you hear that, Terry?
No.
So if you can look up a website called Planet Reform, that's one of my companies. We can give you some product for your cause that you'll quite like.
Oh, Planet who? So
Planet Reform.
Planet Reform.
Planet Reform. I will definitely look that up. That would be lovely. Sorry.
Just refer to today's meeting and then we'll know what it was for.
Super. And who do I address a question to?
Paul.
Paul. Thank you. You'll have noticed from the application that we send out our shopping list to various suppliers. Pack and Save Kaitaia have always been a big supplier of ours. Foursquare in Waipapa do really good prices, so we've used them a lot. And we've also reached out to Gilmore's and Woolworths. So far, their prices aren't looking as sharp as the others. So we send the shopping list out, we compare prices, and then we buy from whoever is giving us the best prices. So what we fill the boxes with is quite specific, and that's because we want to make it very practical. We want to make it items that will be used by the whānau, and we include a little recipe book that gives suggestions on how to make budget-friendly meals with those items. So we can't take just we'd love donations, but we have to be careful about what we put in the boxes for all sorts of logistical reasons.
Through the chair, you say, I love that you say that it's got a wraparound service as well. Just really briefly, what sort of wraparound services do you provide to those families?
Well, the thing is that Bald Angels doesn't work directly with the whānau, so that we partner 23 agencies across Te Tai Tokoro. Like I mentioned, Police, Plunkett, Women's Refuge, iwi organisations, social workers, health, education providers. So the whānau are already connected to agencies who are supporting them in some way. So they identify the whānau, they register them with us, we provide the product, those agencies, their kaimahi, deliver, and they wrap around whatever services they are resourced to deliver.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And just to Bill here, Teresa, so you did say there was 12 organisations that you deal with up here, is that right?
There are 7 organisations there that we deal with. Well, we deal with these organisations all through the year, but these 7 register whānau for Christmas. Do you want to know who they are?
You can list them, yes, please.
Okay, we have Te Rārara Angamua, Far North Wheat, Ngāti Kahu Social and Health Services, Far North Community Hospice, Te Hiku Haora, Te Whare Ruruho or Mary Trust, and Whare Tamatatanga Haora.
Thank you very much. Is there any further questions? Thank you, Teresa, and we'll be dealing with your application further on in the meeting. So,
Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. And yes, happy to answer any questions should any arise.
thank you, and you'll be informed of the decision later on, either today or tomorrow. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Ngā mihi.
We now have Leslie. Leslie.
Hi, my name's Lucy Wallace. I'm here with my volunteer hat on today for Aipara Aroha, and it's in to speak to our funding application that we've got in to help support our Movies in the Park events that we'd like to put on our Aipara. So as you know, our Aipara Aroha group is a local community group, staffed with volunteers. We try to put on events throughout the year to support our community. Our last one was Matariki in June, which the community supported us with, and it was 3 days of madness, but it was absolutely great. Never walked so many steps in my life, but that's okay. And the one we want to do to this time is we're getting ready for summer, so we want to be summer ready. So we want to be able to have a calendar of events and things that our local community whānau can do together. They don't have to leave the village, everything's sort of there. So we've already got a tennis league started. That started yesterday. We've got a touch module coming up, starts on Friday. Lennox is working his magic to put on a fashion show and some art exhibitions over summer. We've got Community Connect, which is part of Touch New Zealand, so they're helping on our touch module, but they're also doing some beach activities like T-ball and volleyball and things like that. And then we're working with our local Te Rāua Kapahaku group to see if they can put some performances on, which they'll do at the Aipara school. And then we're also working with the takiwa around some more hikoi over summer. So between the pose or up the maunga or even up to the gum fields, where once you've done the walk, you also have that opportunity to listen to the kōrero about the area. So all of that is part of our summer calendar of events. And one of the ones we wanted to put on for whānau was our Movies in the Park. We want to do that every 2 weeks so that there is a regular thing that our families can book in and know that every 2 weeks they can go to the park and it'll be something on. We're working with Shine on Kaitai, who you've mentioned before, because they have an outdoor movie screen. So 4x5 metre inflatable screen. They will take charge of setting it up and organising and doing it, so none of the volunteers have to try and do that on their behalf. And then I've made tentative bookings with council to book the park for that time. And then we're also going to invite some registered kai karts in so that whānau can come, get dinner, kids can play on the playground at the park, they can use the pump track, and then when it starts to get dark, they can sit down and watch the movie. The movies will all be old school, family-friendly movies. They're a lot cheaper, obviously, because there's a licensee fee to pay. And that's all included in the quote from Shine on Kaitai. What we wanted to do was to have one before Christmas and then every 2 weeks after that. So it finishes on the first week of February. So it's just something that we thought might be something we could advertise, and it's regular and people can come and enjoy. We have a staff of volunteers through Aipara Aroha that will do the logistics part of it. They will monitor the security of the area. They will do the work in regard to who's entering and exiting and making sure everyone's safe. There will be whānau surf rescue. It said that they can bring their trailer, which is part of their first aid kaupapa. So there'll be a first aid station there all the time. And then we're also looking to, we need traffic management, obviously, because it's going to be an event that is possibly could cause traffic disruption. There's no road closures because, as you know, Broader Street Park is now an enclosed space. So it'll just be advertising the event. So we, on behalf of Aotearoa Aroha, we're hoping that the community board will support us in this. We don't charge for our events. We would probably put on a koha. So if anyone wanted to make a donation, they could. All of that money goes back into our accounts, and we use that to fund other events and more events, things that happen. So this is my application for them. And if there's any questions, throw them at me.
Oh, there's road safety.
Yes. So, speaking of road safety, so we now our funding application was made for Aotearoa Aroha for the Matariki. We got a quote for that. They quoted X amount of dollars, and when they put in the invoice, it was not even what they quoted. So we were like, what do we do with this money? And I spoke to Catherine. She said, you're going to make another application. So there's a couple of things you can do. You could return all the money and then reapply for it, and then hope that you get it back again, or you hang on to it, tell them that it's there, which we've done in the application, and use it for your next lot of traffic management. So I went, what is the easiest? And she said the second one. So that's what we've done. So you'll see in the application that's why there are still funds there. We've also spoken to T8 and they went, oh, we thought it was this and this and this, and we knew it wasn't. And they said, well, we realised that once we got there and noticed what was happening. So we've been transparent to say that this is what we did, and this is where the money is, and if need be, we can return it. Not a problem. But we'd like to be able to use that to go towards the next lot of traffic management for this event, if this funding application is successful. If it's not, obviously, all of that will come back.
Thank you. Any questions now?
Is the traffic management overkill?
Yeah. Traffic management is really overkill.
Yeah.
But in order to book the park through District Council, you have to have some fun traffic management. So that is what I had to fill out just to book the park.
So interesting enough, I had that meeting with the guy from Northland Inc. What's his name? Paul. And I said to him, because he listed all these events in the far north, and at the end I said, what are the repercussions if most of those events aren't around in another 5 to 10 years? He said, oh, what do you mean? I said, well, unless central government starts changes the the requirements at our level, at Far North District Council level, because every year, as you know, I do run an event, and every year it's just getting harder and harder. We look at the volunteers that tried to keep the waterfront one going. You know, who wants to?
It's kill them.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you say yes, it is an over, because these requirements are coming from somewhere. And sometimes I don't think they actually need to be brought up at all. You know what I mean? And unless the rules are changed, that's exactly what's going to happen. And I said to the guy, central government has to come to local government in Z and start making it easier on the staff that are making these decisions.
I agree, because it is every event that we put on, even if it's not on a council reserve or park, still has traffic management implications.
Yep.
So you still have to do it. Hence why for Matariki we had it today at the rugby club, which is an enclosed private space that's not councilled. But we still had to put on traffic management because of the people coming in and the disturbance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Sometimes it's just common sense, but you have to, unfortunately, according to the applications and things like that, you've got to have it. So you've got to have it, which is a bit of a pain. And you've got to find the money in order to do that. You can't just chuck a cone out in the middle of the road and say, sweet.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, yeah, it is. I think it's a bit overkill, but yes.
Yeah.
That's me.
Thank you.
Kaupai, any other questions?
Yeah, sure.
Did you want me to speak to Rural Travel Fund while I'm standing here?
There's only two. There's
Why not?
is there any questions for that one?
So
Just one.
yes,
Whereabouts in Aotearoa is it going to be held?
Karora Street Park.
Oh.
Yeah. So we try and base everything there because it gives the kids a lot of other things to do, not just
Good idea.
But we have listed in the application to see that if for some reason we are unable to book the park, that the rugby club can host it there. It just won't be the same kind of atmosphere.
Without the playground.
Yeah. But there will be another venue if we can't. Yeah.
Thank you.
So rural travel, there's only two applications over summer. One is the Far North Darts Association. They've got a junior group of 6 athletes who want to travel away, there are no actual junior darts competitions that they can enter as a juniors versus juniors, so they have to enter adult competitions. So that's why you'll have a look at that application. They're off, I think, down to the Whangarei area because that's the only one they can enter. And they were asking, I don't know how much they were asking, but I think I recommended $740. Yeah. Just as a reasonable contribution to help them on their way. And then the other one was the Te Rātua Rugby Club cricket team. So I am the chair, my other hat, I am the president of the Te Rātua Rugby Club. So just to let you know, there'd be a conflict of interest there. But all of these recommendations have gone through my manager and through Catherine at Whanau District Council. And we've recommended $1,000 for them. So our rugby club is umbrellaing a under 14 junior cricket team that will compete in the Northland Wide competition that's coming up. Those games are based at Kirikiri and Whangarei, so they have to travel every week. All their training will be done at Ahipara, but their games are away. And just on a side note, we're just doing some fundraising at the moment to get the concrete pitch that is at the domain covered in artificial turf. So you might have seen the kids at the market on the weekend doing a sausage sizzle as part of their fundraising towards that cost.
Oh, wow.
It's going to cost about $6,000, and we've got an application in with Northland Cricket to pay for half of that, and then the other half we have to raise together. So the kids have said we'll do as much as we can, and the club will contribute the rest. So yeah, so that's that done. And then on the second side note, the Te Rātua Rugby Club is just in the process of signing the new lease for the Ahipara Dome.
Oh, I think it's in our...
Yep, so I've just sent that through to our legal, to get legal advice on that. She said she's got a couple of amendments that she'd like to put forward, and then once those are done, then that can be sorted out as well, and then we will arrange a MOU with the soccer club because they use the far end as part of that. So very, very, very good. So that was the recommendations for the Rural Travelling Fund. Just so
Through the chair, Leslie, that's dart juniors.
yes.
I'd just like to mention that Far North Darts is one of the strongest in New Zealand. As a
Yes.
there's 4 youth, and that'll be the ones
They'll
there
be the ones.
that are playing senior grade darts. They're just phenomenal. They're like 11, 12.
I think Kylo's 8, isn't it?
Kylo's 8,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they've got to stand up on a stool to get their things.
Yep.
But they are honestly at senior level. But then, without the Northern Age these days, we don't seem to. Is Jamie Hilton-Jones has just represented New Zealand in England for the youth darts, even though because darts goes to 23. I don't know why he's a apprentice down at, but it's so. 2 months ago, we took a team to Porirua, and they brought home basically a trophy that's like the this is senior men, eight players. They brought home a trophy that is like the Ranfurly Shield.
Yes.
So now any town in New Zealand that's affiliated, that they have to actually come to the Far North to compete for that trophy, and it hasn't actually been out of Kapimana Club for 15 years. They were that strong. So that's only happened in the last year.
Some of our youth compete in that.
They didn't, but they will.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jamie did.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just touching on the darts
Yes,
thing,
yeah,
it's huge.
that's
As you know,
huge,
yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So there was 2,778 available and only 1,700 applied for. Why are there so few applications?
I think just in that summer space, there's not as many sports in that summer space. We usually have about a good half a dozen, at least. But it's just this time round, there was,
There's
And
a
I
good way of encouraging it.
Yeah,
So
I
that
rang
makes
people,
sense.
I emailed things out on Facebook, I did all of that, and then it just comes down to mainly the volunteers having to do that job of that application. It's not a hard application. Yeah, and like I said, but the good thing is that leftover pie of money can then get added to the winter
Oh, yeah.
bucket of money,
fair enough, yeah.
which always has at least a dozen applications, and they're always big because they're the rugby, the netball, those big, huge, chunky ones that cater for a lot of kids.
So that will come in about
Yeah.
March, won't it?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, we did advertise and push and put it out there for everyone again, and it's just that whole thing around getting someone to actually fill the form out.
As long as we don't lose the money, that's all right.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so
Anything
much,
else?
Leslie.
No worries, and I'll probably see you back later when we have our our Sport Northern presentation. I think is happening today as well.
Oh,
Is it with you guys or is it with council? I can't
That's with
remember.
council.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Enjoy the rest of your
thank
day. Thank you.
Just going to let these out. Ask it up.
Not that one.
Not that one.
Don't set the alarm.
Not the emergency one. We don't want the fire brigade here. We've got enough here, so we'll just carry on and we will confirm the previous minutes on page 8. That's point 1.
Oh, okay.
Can we have a mover, please?
Darren.
Seconder.
Yep, Rachel.
Thank you. Is there any errors or? Looks pretty slow, actually. I've gone over them.
Yeah.
All in favour?
Aye.
Now, I'd like to deal with 7.2 first, please, which is the new road name, what we've got in here.
Yeah.
It is. Please, that's on page 68. And he can get on with his day. I will move this. Do I have a second, please?
Bill.
Thank you. So there was no other place names that were offered in this particular item.
So there are originally 3 names submitted from the board, but we have decided to go with the singular name. So
Oh, okay.
it's
So is everybody happy with that name? How do you say it? Pretty place.
It sounds pretty similar to how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes it does.
It's one of the original birds that used to reside around the wetlands.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the-
yes,
that's the
because
base of the name.
it's in that area,
Yeah.
that's right, yeah. And what's your relation to this?
I'm the project owner of the development.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right. The 17 houses, isn't it?
Yeah.
That are going on the road, is there footpaths around the road?
Sorry.
Is there footpaths around the road?
Here, footpath down one side. It's not,
Oh,
not both. Yeah.
Something that I did ask for in the 3.3.
Oh, good. Yeah, we'll put a footpath down Grid Street in the upgrade as well, down one side.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Listen to
Yeah, so it's either proposed name or full place, but anyway. So is everyone happy with this?
Yeah.
All
Yep.
in favour?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul, for attending.
It's all right. Do we, so we just get the meeting minutes from you guys on that? Confirmation, is that right?
Yeah, so they'll be online on our website.
Awesome. Great. Nice to meet you.
Oh,
Cheers,
thank
Gav.
you very much for attending.
Donation for the full day.
Yeah, there's some other stuff that's quite interesting there that
Yeah.
we can help, because we get a lot of reject product that is really good, but just packaging them.
Yeah.
We've got a few other companies.
Oh, we could put you in.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start bothering Trinity and I'll find out who you all are.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
good to see you guys. Good
Yeah,
home.
awesome.
Excellent.
Right.
Well
Think
done.
of many homes.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
And the right people at the right time.
Right.
Right.
So we're up to 7.1, which is the time placemaking. So I'll move it. Do I have a seconder, please?
Rachel.
There you go.
So, has everybody read the application?
Huge.
Is there any questions? So we got an updated map of the stage 2. And one of the questions that I could possibly ask is, there's car parks I see, but is there any parking for trailer parking in this? Because the yacht club would have to have been in the conversation as part of the consultation for this, hopefully.
So there's not trailer parking, it's annual parking.
Would you like to come and sit up so we can hear you?
It's just annual parking, it's not boat trailer parking.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah.
So I guess the consultation was done with the yacht club as well, wasn't it?
I believe that the yacht club, I can't remember his name, but he attended an on-site meeting, but we haven't included trailer parking. If that's something that this Taipa placemaking plan would like to achieve, then we would need to revisit that.
It's not logical not to have it.
Through the chair, in all the areas, that is a problem.
Right.
Yeah, there's the trailers.
Would the trailers not park on the reserve?
Well, at the moment they're sort of parking over on this area, but there's not a marked area for, if they're just doing it willy-nilly up to where it's bollarded off. But in the actual car parks here, around here where they've allocated the car parks, you can see boat trailers sticking out everywhere.
So that's something that stage 2 is in procurement at the moment. Yeah. So we need to work pretty quickly.
So there's a roundabout stuck in the middle of that area there. Is that necessary? It's quite expensive.
I think that's part of the stormwater design because there's a whole stormwater issues that need to be dealt with in that space.
Oh, so the stormwater will be going into there's a big area where the stormwater is going to go into underneath that area. Is that right?
There's two, well, there's a location to the south, which is the low amenity planting in the rain gardens, and I think that roundabout is part of that low amenity rain garden as well.
That's just stage 2 I'm talking about. I have not put on to the other questions for the other stuff yet. Because it's going to be finished, we need to make sure we get it right.
Yeah.
Right, so the action is to investigate whether we can achieve trailer parking in the public car parking area.
Well, I think it's a requirement really, not to ask whether we can achieve it. It needs to be.
Is that around your sailing club in this plan? Like, I think that's 5A. A5, right?
Page, yeah,
59?
Yeah.
So that's the boat ramp there. Where would people park? Like, so obviously going to come up with their boat in. Those
Have you got the update?
I'm looking at
Oh, this is the other one.
59.
This is the updated version.
Much changes. Just a quick.
My questions are attached to
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
so I need that.
Oh, okay.
right, when you say updated, do you mean the one that's in the agenda item?
W, is that the same plan that's in the agenda?
No. This is the one.
No, we see they
Let's go.
this is
Oh, yeah.
the new plan.
That's different.
Mhm.
So just have a look at that in a minute. Because in principle, the placemaking plan could be reflective of the latest plan.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that can't be here. What can we? I don't think that one's in the agenda. No, it's
They're
different.
going to run out of
It's
space big
different.
time.
This much more detail than conception.
Yeah.
They said that it was
Sure.
last week.
Right, so the version that's in the placemaking
Oh,
plan has
right.
been updated as part of the detailed
Sorry.
design.
We've got a bit.
It is still showing
This way, but
the
should.
car parks have changed in their orientation, but not
Yeah.
trailer parking. Yeah, it is slightly different. It's been updated.
Yeah, I'll have that back then. Yeah.
Is there a reason why they didn't do trailer parking, or like,
I think it's about the ability to fit it.
like if you've got a boat ramp? That's really nice.
I mean, I'm not a local to Taipa, but do the people park on the grassed area with their trailers? Or
Yeah,
what do they do naturally?
They do. I've been walking there for years.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Park on the grass.
Because
As close to the ramp as you can get.
So
If
would
it's
people-
busy, you're far away from it.
Yeah, so as a default, is that grassed area working as where people are dropping the trailers?
As long
There's
as
not
you're
much
allowed
room
to.
that's ours
Are they allowed?
in front of the bollards.
That's part of the sailing club's land, as I understand it, though we've just got the road to the great area.
So that's how it's working on the ground right
But what if they eventually said, no, you can't park your trailer on our land?
now.
That's
So we've got an option, which we've talked about before, which is the piece of roadway or whatever it is between these two large blocks of land. And the two large blocks of land have been sort of given to this, or being sold to the local iwi. And an idea was to swap, so that the iwi could have one large bit of land, swap the areas from this roadway down the middle of their land, which is public, to beside the boat ramp, and that would create more room there. And then it means that iwi would have one large parcel of land for themselves.
Without a road running through it.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a paper road.
because the paper road is public.
The plan does make that suggestion, but it would be a process that would need to be followed and worked through. It would take some time to kind of to do that land swap, and our legal service team. So
They
it's a
seem quite
recommendation.
keen, truly did. Not abuse, I should say.
One of the questions that we would have is, would you want to see, are you happy for that, having the trailer park issue resolved through the design that's made to come through now, or is that something that you want to see in the actual recognised in the document that was brought forward today to be approved?
We would want to see it recognised because we're so short of boat ramps that Taipa is being used increasingly often.
Okay, so the action is to investigate within the public land whether we can accommodate
Well,
trailer.
to provide trailer parking within that need.
Like Darren, they all park on that sailing club land, which I assume is this here, eh? This is owned by the sailing club. But what if they one day said no?
That's right. What if they said no? And they might.
And they could.
And they might. So they're talking about that.
Like if everyone starts filling up their whole area
Yeah, if they
with which they
on the
could.
same day as Saturday or on Sunday when it's full, then it could be trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, a transport planner will need to make sure that there's the ability for trailer parks to park and manoeuvre and safely in the public space that's available. So that's all I can undertake to do. Yeah. Look at how we can accommodate some trailer parks on public land.
Yeah, and obviously work out the ratio to provide for the public also to be able to utilise the car park. You don't have to write that.
Because one of the days I was there during the summer, I mean, there was 40 trailer boats. Where are they going to put? They're all parking on the point and where that area is that you're going to do up.
If this became kind of like people started seeing it as somewhere where they could park the trailers, would there be a concern if that became just full of trailers? That became basically, if we're talking about 40, I don't know if that's the norm.
They're going to go there anyway. They're going to
Well, I'm
go.
just trying to weigh out what do people see as the competing car parking demands in that location in terms of people who are utilising the beach rather than
People utilising the beach will go further along in front of the
Yeah, the problem we have is that we
This
keep
is a
losing,
boat ramp
you know,
that's used for trailers.
let's say, well, Mill Bay is absolutely chocker. It's an issue in itself. Okay, when people are parking up the hill, up towards your place, Cheryl. So those people go, we're never going to get in there now. We move into Taipa. You know, it's like when, Mato Bay got closed, then it put all the pressure into Pita Hippie and Rangiputa and,
Yeah,
so
move it.
at the end of the day, that boat ramp is there for the boaties, and we need to support them, that recreational.
For me personally, if I'm ever going to Taipa, I'm never going here. I never do, never. I go down there
Yeah, the
where all
beach.
the other, here is where I'd go with my kids and my family. I would expect that this whole area is focused on boaties. From that point, for me, that I would have very few public family car parks. I'd be all about the boaties for there.
And that, I would too. I agree.
Yeah.
Jane, with the placemaking plan, will the use of that area change and would become more people would be utilising the beach on that end, or
And it's not a great place for beaching.
yeah, I'm just trying to, with the placemaking plan, trying to bring people more down to that area or not?
So we are looking to provide placemaking amenities further along the beach, which would be where your beach activities are more likely to happen. But I am just checking through because, forgive me, team member has been working on this mostly. The boat ramp, is that actually public or is it the sailing club's boat ramp? So
It's used by the public.
It's used by the
widely used by the public.
yeah.
I mean, the yachties will probably use it too, because I'll have little yachts that they have to transport on a trailer as well.
Is it a council ramp though, or is it a private? Is it the?
I think it's a council one.
They use it.
I think it's been there before.
It's
The
a
boat.
I think the whole council reviewed the whole lot, and I think the yacht club is on the council land.
Yeah, pretty sure they are.
It's the cheaper farm authorities, because they're the ones who do
But maybe if that's the case, then there could be some space on the reserve that outside of the public road that we could provide parking. So it needs to be investigated.
yeah. So if that can be brought up with the procurement team, that would be great. Thanks very much. To maybe just swap around some of these parts so that it's angled and
On average, what would you, is the demand 40 or,
No.
or what would it be the average?
Oh, a dozen to 50, yeah. Like, I mean, no one can accommodate for the crazy week over Christmas. Yeah, but you've just got to try, you know.
You've got to think be dual.
Down that end, down sort of in that area there, there's 10 on one side, so perhaps that could be.
Even if it could accommodate both, you know how you have the one,
I'll work it
the
out.
two in the line and middle, so if you
Yeah.
go long ways, we could have two singles.
And this is just for stage 2 that they're trying to get through at the moment.
People go there and do go get cockles from in there when the tide's out.
Yeah, they
But-
park across the road. Isn't it?
Yeah, but you wouldn't like the tide rushes in and out of that
Estuary.
quite swiftly. Like I'd never take my kids or families. I never really see a lot of people.
It's fast then.
It's really
It's not the easiest boat ramp to use either.
No.
Exactly. You don't get beginners going there.
Yeah. So families, I think, will be, unless they're boating or, they're down that end. And they'll be more likely to go down that end once you have all those other stuff.
Looking at your design, through the chair, looking at your design there, also the car park areas you've got there, they won't be suitable for the trailers. They'll come out further.
Yeah.
So you're going to restrict all of that area just with one side full.
And through the chair, I think we need to consider that if we're looking at redesigns, I need to work with other teams across council about number of car parks that we need to retain, existing number of car park, normal car park, and also if there's any costs associated with providing additional boat trailer parking. So that's probably the next conversation. Where can they go? Can it be cost neutral? If it can't be cost neutral, what is the cost and how is that funded?
So I see in stage 2 that they're installing CCTV, right? Which is part of the cost, which is great for that area.
Yeah, it's a must. Who maintains that CCTV?
A council asset.
It's going to be a council asset.
So on page 44, if you can just explain, it talks about the license to occupy on road reserve. So how, if we're going to put a table, where is the road reserve along that area? I mean, I know there's a road, but how far on both sides? I know the footpath will come onto that one side, but how far on the other side?
It's predominantly all road reserve, so
That whole frontage.
so we need to engage
Yeah.
with license to occupy. So we need to have a conversation, depending on the scale of the item that's being installed, whether a license to occupy or an agreement via email is appropriate for installing that item.
But not right across the front, just where the road goes. So the end in front of the school, that wouldn't be road reserve, surely.
There is a reserve to the to the far end beyond school. Yeah,
That's what the road reserve.
No,
Oh, well, that's a bloke.
yeah.
So they've done quite a lot of pathological digging, I see in the report. So I guess once they start stage 2, then if anything comes up, I guess.
That's right. They've done some archaeological investigations, but as they work through and seek to undertake further physical works, it's just the archaeologists will come down and do observations to make sure that there are no sites that have been done.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Hapu representative will also be doing cultural monitoring.
Okay. So on page 48, the planting, have you had a conversation with NRC around, because they do have some funding for planting as well.
Yeah, so yes, I believe that I can't remember the name. So my staff member was in communication with NRC, and we'll need to ensure that that's happening through stage 2. That NRC has grant or funding what they.
Oh, so it's going to be stage 2.
It may do. I need to investigate it.
Oh, okay. Because it'll be some of it will be at stage 3, and of course we'll go further along as well.
Stage 3.
Or 3, I should say. And I wonder, please, for stage 3, so once we've adopted this, can we do a sort of like a second recommendation or resolution around the actions that we could have some of the items costed, so that we can actually know what the costs are, and then we can either go for external funding somewhere or perhaps call on our reserve fund as some of the items. So we know what the costs, we can decide which ones we can fund, please, in the next stage.
Absolutely.
Stage 3.
So because we've got the action to investigate trailer parking, we could resubmit this placemaking plan once we've worked through that, and also include the costing in the placemaking plan, the revised version, if that would be acceptable, rather than what would it. Depends on whether you want to adopt this plan today or not. If you adopt it, then we would submit a variation to it, or we could take it away now and work out the trailer parking and pricing.
I say take it away now.
Because we can.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to adopt it.
Well, we can adopt it subject to acknowledgement being given to prioritising that boat trailer parking at that point, as long as it's part of the resolution.
Yeah.
Through the chair, could I ask one question, please? Whereabouts is your ramp for the disabled on access on and off the beach going to be?
It hasn't been designed to detail at this point. That's just a high level. This is what the community has identified.
The reason I ask is I sit on the disability action group and we had meetings today, and these are the sort of questions that are cropping up, because there's a lot of places that aren't accessible to wheelchairs. I don't know why a wheelchair would want to go on the beach, but they do.
It's got to be big.
So, yeah, because it's good to see it's in there.
Okay, so additional specific site analysis and identifying a suitable location and design to achieve that would need to be undertaken as next steps for implementing stage 3.
Chair, I believe we have a strategy now, don't we, in place at council for accessibility?
Te Tai Tokerau accessibility strategy, I think.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that we do those types of things that align that, you know,
Through the chair, this is something little and towards the end, but I question those seagull seats they put everywhere, those big concrete bloody,
Yeah.
you know, that could be another table for people to have a picnic on. No one, you know, every now and then you get someone sitting on them, or they're a waste of space.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
They're surprisingly comfortable, actually.
Yeah, but there's one person to enjoy every now and then. I rarely see people actually sitting on them, using them for proper purpose.
Yeah, they're
I
more
think a
like-
table with people eating fish and chips is going to be a bit of cover.
I think that was pretty much most of my questions. So within stage 3 is, so what was this about the volleyball? I saw something about the volleyball courts in here.
So that was a recommendation that came from our engagement with Taipa Area School, and one of the teachers said that he would be able to support sharing funding for installation of volleyball court.
Yes, so he's already started, hasn't he? It sounds like it's already
Last time I was engaging with him, he hadn't started, but he knew the pathway to do it. But obviously there needs to be a plan that allows that to be constructed.
Well, he says that he will put in an application to Manawa. Funds are usually supplied about a month after that, so he's obviously going to put a funding application in.
So he would rely on an approved plan allowing it.
Okay, so that would
installed
be
in that location.
yeah,
So is that going to be a sand one or grass,
Sand is my understanding.
like beach volleyball?
the sand is already here.
Through the chair, if that's the case, are they going to have covers? Because you know what's going to use the sand during.
Yes, I think he did bring that up, but I can't recall if they're
Yeah.
going to have covers, but that could be a
It would pay to, because otherwise we're looking at health and safety.
yeah.
Dogs and cats.
Yeah, otherwise you just make it a grass one, because those covers, they're not going to.
Yeah, it's a nice long bed, David.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And then you haven't got the maintenance, like a AstroTurf one, if they were happy, if the schools were happy. I'm just thinking of long-term maintenance.
For sure.
Artificial's good.
Don't know if that quite meets the objective of a beach
Beach
volleyball.
volleyball, I know, but the sand and dogs and
Yeah.
No, it's not good. Yeah.
the only way is if, someone's going to have an idea, unless you had something you could roll out to cover, make it easy.
Someone will reach that.
Anyway, I'll leave that.
So just, if you can make a note of these actions, number 9, 10, 11, on page 48 I'm talking about, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. If they can all be costed, please, that would be fantastic. And then we know what cost for each item is, and then we can make some decisions after that as well. Are there any further questions for Joey and Tammy?
Just a question from me. So these costings, I can report them up to a future community board meeting?
Yes. Right. Yes.
To the future, if I could just ask, are all those costings feasible or something has to be done with talking to people to understand what actually we would be doing for like for a pump track? Is that something that we would do a costing on, or is there any consultation that occurs first to understand what the pump track would be?
I think that's a really probably a good question. So they would be estimates based on
Yes, I realise
local
that.
local
Yes.
examples. So for example, the
Yeah, up to date estimates. Yeah. Yeah, then we can sort of make some decisions on where to go. Yeah.
not based on detailed design for the site.
No, well, I'm talking about just playground equipment and stuff like that. That's going to be
So high level costing, so you can understand
Yeah.
what people would be looking at to.
implement. Yeah, I mean it's not a big thing.
Okay, thanks for that.
Biggie. I mean it's I mean I know that some of the costings had been done way back earlier in the year, and I think you got copies of that. Yeah,
Haven't made it in here.
And through the chair, just to let you know, Owen's working really good. It's brilliant.
Just sorry, Bill.
I was just saying, the only playground's working really good. Yeah. Daily basis, basically. Yeah.
The only one I question is the one in Kaitai by the swimming pools.
Of the pump track.
Just gonna
It's a maintenance, serious maintenance into
that area and whole area there.
Swimming pool. You've been in that argument. You've been in that argument.
I don't care. Players are perfect.
So is there any other questions? Do you want to talk about any of the other information in here?
I think we've talked through the key question.
So can I please move that the Hiku Community Board adopts the 2024 Taipa placemaking plan, subject to a variation that provides adequate boat trailer parking at Taipa
That's
Point.
for stage 2.
It's for stage two, what the other stages.
And that the costings. Some costings for the stage 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I need to put the points in. No,
Just over 9 or 17 or whatever.
yeah.
That Hiku Community Board adopts the 2024 type of placemaking plan, subject to a variation that provides adequate parking spaces and trailers and costings for stage 3. Of items for stage 3.
Yeah. Does that sound right?
Trailers at Taipa Point.
At twice, yes. Yes, stage 2 at twice. Got it. All in favour? Aye, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, ladies.
And consequently, where's Andrea today?
Unfortunately, Andrea is not with council any longer.
Oh,
What?
Whoa.
Right. Seven point three.
thank you, ladies. So what are we up to?
when are we on break?
7.3.
When will we take our break?
Oh, let's have a wee break then, just a quick break. Here comes the page.
Stream.
We can have a quick break.
So we've got some people
Welcome back to our meeting. So we're up to item 7.3. It's the summer 2024 rural travel funding applications. So do I have a mover, please?
Darren.
Rachel.
Leslie was able to speak to these two applications earlier on. Is there any questions?
No.
All in favour?
Aye.
Thank you. We're up to the funding applications now. So first of all, I'd like to do on the funding applications on 7.4, there is a recommendation here or a resolution. So the resolution reads, rescind 2024 item 34 of the 13th of August approving the sum of 709,549 plus GST applicable be paid from the Board Community Grant Fund account to Kaitaia Business Association for the Kaitaia Street Cleanup and $5719.51 plus GST applicable, being remainder for funds allocated by Resolution 2022-51 on June 2022 for use by the applicants towards the Kaitaia Street Cleaning project.
Thank you.
And 2, approve the sum of 866.03 plus GST applicable being part remaining of the unspent funds by Resolution 2022-51 on June 2022 for use towards the Kaitaia Street Cleaning project. And I'm going to recommend a 3, which will be around the unspent funds remaining go towards gardening, graffiti, in the Kaitaia township.
Makes sense.
Yes, any unspent.
Yeah.
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 Because this is old money.
Yeah.
It needs to go into the
Back in. Yeah.
However, these projects would have to be listed for this. Yeah. I'm not quite sure how to word that. Unspent fund.
So that the unspent funds remaining, if any, go towards the tidy up of gardening and graffiti in the Kaitaia township.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
So, of that.
Also a part of that.
Yeah.
Sort of see.
Funds by Resolution 22. Yeah. Yeah, they need to be part of that, of the June 2022. The resolution. Yeah. So you're happy with that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll move that one. Do I have a seconder?
Yeah. John.
Thank you. So all in favour?
Aye.
Thank you. So that's that one dealt with. So we're to the Ahikara Aroha Bank for movies in the park. So at this point there was $2,457.50 left over from remaining funds on a previous application, and they are asking for 3 $5,299.50. So all up, their event is going to cost $5,757,000. Oh, yeah.
I like the concept of what they're trying to do.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and otherwise, it's
Brilliant.
like, you know, one day we can't fund it forever, and see what they get out of the koha and stuff. But one day it could become a more of a, you know, a user pay system. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a magic idea, and that lady's always amongst it.
Yeah, they're very proactive.
It's just the traffic management that is the killer for these events, and I can't say any more than that.
Yeah.
So who-
Sure. I'll move.
I'll second it.
I've got to abstain.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
All in favour?
Yeah.
No.
Thank you. So the Broad Angels Charitable Trust for $3,000.
Sorry, did we move the full amount? 3,2.
2,4 plus the 3,2.
3,000.
Yeah, so it's 5,757.
Yes, we
So
did.
they keep
For the
the-
first one.
They keep the 2,4
They use their leftover
and
and the
further.
balance.
We used it.
So we're moving.
Yeah. So up to the Broad Angels Charitable Trust.
Madam Chair,
Move
there,
it, please.
I will move it.
Second.
Is there any discussion around this one?
I think there are a lot of people who are in difficulty, including ratepayers in this area, and I don't actually agree that this is something we should be funding.
Can I ask why, Chair? Chair?
Well, it's rates money, and a lot of people throughout the, Te Hiku are finding it very, very tough. And here's some money going to a certain percentage of the people from people who can't necessarily, afford to contribute to them.
Have we ever donated money to them before?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
How's that? That's a question should I ask me. Also, how do they set their criteria? How do they target people? Is it the first in, first served, or?
No, they said that the organisations
Yeah,
that they
okay.
work with
That's
nominate families
Yeah.
that they know are in need and have to pass.
Yeah, that's
their,
right.
Across 7 organisations in the Te Hiku area, which I think is,
Don't really have a problem with it.
I understand your comments, sure.
Shall we vote by
I'll move.
division?
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Yeah, we already done that.
Oh.
So we can vote by division if you like, so.
No, if it's going to be carried, I'll just vote against it. It's quite simple. Yeah.
So is everyone happy about this?
Yep, I am. I'm
I am.
happy.
Okay. So the only person that's voting against this is Cheryl. Thank you. So the overall. The next one is the Kaitaha AMP Association, which is $944.
Move.
Second.
Any questions on this one?
No.
No,
It's a good day.
that'll be real cool.
That's a good day.
Thank you. All in favour?
All right.
Thank you. So the Kaitaha College costs for $2,487 towards purchases of safety harnesses and volleyball nets.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion on this one?
No.
All in favour?
Right. Resolution. 120.
8.1 and 121.
120 page 131, which is the open resolution report, 8.1. I'll move this one down a second, please. So is there anything that needs to come off or revisited?
Can I ask you a question? And I apologise to the board. I didn't attend the drainage management even though it's part of my cover area. Are we making improvement on that, Adele? In the drainage, after the drainage meetings. Yeah, I've jumped ahead a bit. Sorry.
Shop is very variable. Earlier in the month, on the workshop, the bylaw, and we were working through some of the issues from the different drainage committees. And we were due to have another workshop a couple of weeks ago, and it was cancelled due to Fiona King's mother's passing. So those questions or those issues will be brought up at the meeting, the drainage meetings, which will be early next month.
Yeah, November.
In November. So I think we were nearly there, and the contract was going to come along for the drainage committees to look at to see where they're at with them, with the contract and that, with the spraying, etc. So it's all very positive.
So we've got some traction. We've got some traction in terms of moving ahead on this. Okay.
Better than what they do. So I'm really, really pleased. Thank you for bringing that up. So hopefully that might come off eventually. We'll just see how we go with that one. So I don't think there's any more. So there is a section on there about the North Park toilet and ongoing investigations for a suitable location.
Through the chair, we still haven't had an answer why someone couldn't just go back to Gull with a plea from the community instead of them just turning around and saying all of a sudden, no, we're not going to do that now.
Indeed,
There needs to be some community pressure on that. And the last time I brought that up, someone within the meeting said, we're looking at reserve space or something, but I still think.
Can we form a letter on behalf of the community board and forward it to Gull and just say we want to relook at this, or is that?
Yeah,
we did bring it up in what Rachel's saying, and
it's only a letter. I've got nothing to lose.
No, well, KBA would support it as well.
Yeah, could we gather some letters and send it?
Perhaps KBA could do it, and we could sign it with them.
Well, there was a reason here at this table why we couldn't do that last time. Because I asked why we can't, and the staff or Bev or whoever said, well, we have to do this first or something.
Can we just ask the question then? Why can't we? Can we submit?
As part of your role as a community board and to advocate on the behalf of your community, I don't see that as an overstep.
From Gull to the council, the last time they said no, but there was a problem obtaining that communication.
I don't know about the communication from Gull to council, but I definitely know that as a community board you could certainly contact Gull and, plead the community's case, and we could draft a letter up and send it to them.
Could do that, please. That would be great. But that we can
work together with the KBA. We could both sign it. That's what I was meaning, yeah.
So, sorry, Kim, but I think there needs to be reference of their letter back in such and such, and that we've tried to find other suitable locations, and it has come back to them, and as a matter of community goodwill, we need to readdress it.
Yeah. Hours there and everything in the site that was going, where the toilet was going to go. And it would have been ideal. It would help all the customers as well. It's not going to interfere with the Gull service station whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's self-help.
Not asking that, are we? We're not asking them to maintain it, install it, operate it, etc. Yeah. Yeah.
So the reason why they declined it is because, even though it's not on their land, is because we have to get a approval from them being the adjacent.
I don't know. So part of it could be on their land. I'm not really altogether sure. So
well, we can take this conversation offline and look at it further. But I certainly, don't see for the first part why a letter can't be written upon further investigation.
Oh, that'd be great if we can get a letter drafted up so we can sign it as well as the Kaito Business Association, and we can try and move forward on this one.
Yep.
In the spot that was declined by them. But that's a perfect spot, really. Mm.
Mm.
So we'll just look forward through this report. Very much.
Okay, I've got one in here I'd like to ask about. It says that the Hiku Community Board requests a regular update on Kaitaia Airport.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember ever hearing one. I think we need to.
Oh, well,
If you do know something, you tell us.
Councillor Hardware did mention bringing this up at our last meeting.
Yeah.
She did, yeah.
She did. But there's no further consent.
I don't think I've heard an update.
She can probably update us at the next meeting.
Because I get asked daily and I'd like to be able to tell somebody something.
I don't know.
So, through the chair, because of the nature of this problem or this issue, I think it's important too that it be notified in some of our minutes.
Yeah.
Including in relation to the airport. You hear stories, and you just don't know what's really happening.
No idea.
Through the chair, I can have a look and see what's gone through the council as well in regards to a formal update. I don't think there has been any formal reports. They've all been informal through members' reports, but I can gather that information and share it around.
Appreciate it, Kim. Good on you.
Could we please request Elizabeth Stacey, will just come up here. We haven't seen her this from year we have her program for 24.
It's
I'll see it. Yeah, they can. We can't come on. So anything else on the
Yes, can we ask NZTA what they are doing about funding a crossing at Binnery, please? Also, we have heard from the speaker this morning the difficulties they are experiencing with excessive traffic management rules, can we ask the Chief Executive or the Mayor to write to our local MP and the Minister of Transport and ask what action they will be taking to bring some common sense to this, because it is adversely affecting events that we wish to hold in our area.
And it will ultimately affect economic growth as well, all those things. We're out there without that. So.
Oh, not just the traffic management.
What else? And,
The health and safety management, the rubbish and waste management.
So, for an example, and I don't want to bring up our own issues, but so if you look at last year's event for the Snap Bonanza, and I'm not putting this on staff at all because they're just following instructions from Wellington or whatever, but our event came back subject, our application for everything, licensing and everything came back subject to 2 security guards per 50 attendees of our event. And we get 3,000 people there every night. And there's not even that many security guards in Northland. So this is something that needs to, and that would often deter the people that are trying to create the events that come in, I can't do that.
You would have had enough volunteers probably, but not security guards.
Well, you can't find, there's probably only 3 licensed security guards in Hiku.
Yeah.
And B, 60 people. Yeah, so they came up with the numbers, which obviously comes from Wellington or wherever. But, we managed to discuss it and everything worked out all right. But I'm just worried that there's some people who will actually not, will just go, oh, this is all too hard.
Yeah.
And as it was, we had to double our security, which obviously means double the cost. And it's just happening with everything. And then traffic management, double the cost, and then eventually people just say, oh, this is all too hard. And I really don't know how to fix it. But
like the waterfront.
Yeah.
It's just
For example,
Yeah.
the waste, the cost.
going really as far as having events and bringing people to our
Yeah. So it's not, Kim, it's not directed at staff at all and who's making the decisions. They're following a guideline. But I think the guidelines need to be more common sense versus this is a rule. And I had a meeting with Northern Inc. and they put a list of events up on their presentation, and I looked at them thinking, oh, how many of those are going to still be around in another 10 years because of this, this problem?
Yeah.
Is there anything else on the list?
Hopefully the Te Aroha lease will, sounds like
Yeah,
it's near
that
completion.
I think it's being very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to the last one, which is Hiku members report. So, do you have any ready, please?
Yeah.
No, thank you. So my report, is there any questions from my report? One thing I did do, I attended the revamp upgrade of the skateboard park. So that was a good day, that little country.
Yeah.
That's coming. One thing I did attend last week, which probably will next report, is they're going to be developing, there's a workshop in developing a local alcohol policy, so that the locals can have a more say on alcohol licenses can go and things like that. So that was getting away from the legislation that said that perhaps we can set some of our policies outside that. No questions from Michael? No. So, John?
Re the RFS at Rangi Puta, I did have a reply, which I was just going to search this number of someone 4219.63. I think Kim might have replied, but Bill was interested in sorry, Kim, Bill was interested in that reply. Did you copy us all in, or?
Through the chair, no, I didn't. So my only update was on that it's sitting with...
It went to Roding or something, is that right?
It went to Roding and it's sitting with Fulton Hogan directly. But I haven't had any updates since then. But I can add Bill onto the RFS so that you're both updated at the same time.
Yeah, I got one from Fulton directly from him, but I'll follow up on that in my report, Kim. Thank you.
Re the bombing platform. I take it Chris Galbraith has spoken to Darren, but he basically said it's all too hard, or especially where I identified. And I suppose what I want to do is say, okay, so where is it not too hard? I mean, that's what he told you, Darren? Well, actually, what you said to me was it's not going to happen.
Not on the commercial walk, no.
No, but they're jumping off it anyway.
Yeah.
So I suppose what I want to know is, okay.
You could talk to him about where could we do it.
Yeah.
But the commercial wharf, he said to me, no.
Yeah.
I did ring him, did talk to him.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll have to follow that up. Read the signage that Cheryl and I had been discussing. One was a welcome sign for Pukenui. I am still waiting on estimations because I don't want to take it too far. But we did. Did we share that little quote?
I do.
Yeah.
No, because I actually emailed him straight away to see how much it cost. I never heard back, did you?
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yep. So if I look up Cheryl, because I sent it to you. So this is something that a couple of locals posted while they were on holiday, and I thought, how cool would it be? You recognise the faces, Joe and Bucky Buckman, but this was in Kaiteri, and it was relatively cheap. It was just like a picture frame. And I thought Cable Bay would be a perfect spot.
Yeah, it would.
And maybe we could get Cable Bay to pay the dairy might actually help with some of the anyway. So we priced that up, and I'll have more information next time.
That's cool.
I do think it would be an easy little step.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Basically, it worked for Kaiteri because everyone's seen the hashtag and the.
How much was that sign?
I think it'd be only a couple of $1,000 by the time it's installed.
We've asked them how much, and I haven't heard back. So
No, they did.
but they did to you.
Yes, but there was a question around what they built it out of.
Oh, okay.
And of course, they were wanting to supply them, which I said, oh, look, we're going to have to go local people.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's, what else am I doing? Nothing much. I've got a meeting with CBEC on the 11th of November down at Homington.
So you're off down there.
Yes, this time we are. I think twice we meet online and twice we meet in person annually.
Oh, thank you, John. So Darren,
You can take mine as read. It's my RE pieces have been completed. Quite happy. Elizabeth Stacey met me up in Pukenui and we went through various options with the Pukenui Primary School, what they wanted, which is just not happening. We've given them some things that can happen.
or you mean around the pedestrian crossing?
No. It's to do with parking outside the staff room, drop off and pick up times after school. And we decided that the only real option is to go around Fitzgerald Ave and drop them off there and they can walk across the field in safety. But the numbers don't want that. So we're at a stalemate.
Well, generally they can do that when it's not raining. But when
It's just a nightmare outside the school. You've got no idea. There's no room. We have, okay, you know it. And it's going to get worse because the solar farms traffic is building up and up and up. But they don't operate during pick-up or drop-off time. But we've got Paul Harvey's machinery up and down there, non-stop. And it's big gear. So we're at a bit of stalemate there. But what they did ask for was those cool flashing signs. So we'll put that through. And but other than that, you can take mine as read. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel.
Yeah, I can take mine as read as well. Been away for half of the month. But I do need a decision made on the pick-up drop-off spot at the end of Blue Road. You can see in my picture there, it's just been abused. They've taken the bin away, Simon's taken the bin away, but we need a resolution or a decision by the community board to make that a not a designated drop-off spot. So I put it to the community, are they happy to make it no longer a drop-off spot? And they've all said yes unanimously. So that's the end of the rubbish bin drop-off spot at the end of our road. It'll take ages before people stop dropping their bin there. We need a sign to say this is not a drop-off spot. So I need the community boards.
So can we do that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put a motion to do that.
Yeah. And I need to find out where I can get a sign from to say this is Simon Dumpster.
Simon.
Okay.
Because he put some danger portions on
Okay.
our street.
Perfect.
The whole town. Yeah.
So the community board has
Approves my request.
Yeah.
Well, the community's request.
corner of Rural and State Highway 1 not be a drop-off point for rubbish, and then a sign is
Sorry.
installed at that area.
Yeah. And it needs a major clean up right now.
So what happens if everyone decided to do that? So where's the community going to drop rubbish?
So without like everyone else's.
So Lama Road, what will they do?
No idea.
So I'm just wondering how this works. If every street, every community decides not to have a, which I personally love. One at Kai Mountain, that's just a disgrace on Monday mornings.
I thought the bin might, but I thought when they gave the bin, it would be a lockable bin and there'd be a number thing for the people who live up there, or if, I don't know, the ratepayers would get a
But still got to go around.
I guarantee you it's not the ratepayers that are putting it there. It'll be people who don't pay rate for the train.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's got to go.
So you can move that?
Yes, please. It's also our road is now the what's the national walk called? Yeah, the trail, and it goes down our road. So that's a great way for them to be met with.
Yeah.
Like it's full. And there's just like cats and dogs.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. We're having a big roadside cleanup of our community. Like we're going to do the whole road as a community, but there's no point in doing it until that's gone.
So you're moving it, I'll second it.
What is it called? The Teacher Community Board requests that before the South Highway 1 and Rural Road.
Rural.
RUAROA.
Take the E out, you can have E in it. Rural Road.
Road no longer be a rubbish drop-off pickup site and sign be erected at this spot.
Thank you. Rubbish is great.
Aye.
So,
Yeah,
was that you, Rachel?
Yes, thank you.
yeah, the first part of my report, just take as read. I just want to follow up on what was John's report, and that's Rangipura. The hillside leading down into the settlement at Rangipura. RFSs were placed for that exact spot on the 27th, 2021 and 2022. This is just a follow-up. What's happening now, and John's just shows it right at the second photo, right at the end. That hill now is getting undercut. There are 2 or 3 huge rutakawas or trees, all the like, which is, I know, is a big issue. But the point is now, if it's getting undercut, those trees are teetering there. If they come down, they're going to close Rangipura off. End of story. Let alone posing a risk to the locals. In my RFS, it was quite a comprehensive one to whoever it would have been, Fulton and Hogan. I also told them and highlighted the point that on the far side, on the left-hand side of the median line of the road, it's starting to sink, which only means, or could mean, I'm not a technical person in terms of earthware or earthenware, whatever, there could be a slip on the other side or just starting. I've noticed that I've had I had a visit there with NTA staff, but at the end of the day, they just looked at it and nothing was happening. This is so, John has helped me in the sense that it's another eyes looking. So I would like to really get that on the LTP, if I could, if I should. I'd like to get that issue on the LTP. Can that be done? No, or do I just follow up?
So Kim, some guidance around that, please.
It needs to be flagged as a...
So it will need to be flagged through the chair. Let me follow up in the background as well, just to see if I can get some further updates, because the LTP is not for, we're in a 3-year LTP process, but annual plan is coming up. So there has been wishes on that.
The community want me at the meeting on the 26th. I think that's a Saturday. And I'd just like some update. I'd like to really carry on with this and make sure that they understand that progress is being made or people are looking at that.
Yeah, no, leave that with me and I'll get an update to you as soon as possible.
Writing on the back of this, in the area, I've got 3 slips. 2 of them are potentially hazardous, so all of them are hazardous to either house ownership, roadways, including Rangipura. The other one is at Petahipi Drive over our reserve, our park, heading down to Petahipi Beach. And the other one is at Matariki Road, where it intersects with old Wharapipi Road. I want to ask Kim, and maybe you could help. There's a huge section above the old Wharapipi Road, and above that is Matariki Road. The sections there have been totally cleared. A roadway has been put in. I don't know if it's a legal roadway. They've cleared all the vegetation. The angle slope is severe, and now the road it's starting to slip on that area. They've cut the trees down. There's logs in there, so I assume they put the road in to move the logs. And if that comes down in the next rain, it's going to basically block off old Wharapipi Road. What do I need to do there? I've lodged it as an RFS, has heard nothing back.
At this stage, we can only escalate the RFS, which I will do so after this meeting, with urgency, and we'll see where that gets us.
Thank you. The other slip we've got it is behind 2 sections at Petahippy Beach. It's right at the end of the cul-de-sac, and it's down into the reserve where we've got a walk track. Some of the locals have tried to repair it as best they can, but it's quite a big slip. And so, Kim, can I add that to the urgency?
Yeah.
Please. I know people have been out there, but it just seems to be it's fine and there's no real report.
No, let's see what happens when I escalate it and if we can get any information or follow-up at least on it.
I appreciate that. Through the chair, Bill, was the second slip on your original RFS?
Which one's that?
The one at the reserve, the 5 feet, the cul-de-sac.
Yep, it was. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, awesome, thank you.
Otherwise, that's my report, Madam Chair.
Have you heard about you being on the working group for that the stormwater issues from the Commissioner?
No.
Have you had anyone contact you?
No one has.
So you'd be on,
Yes.
so I don't know whether they've had any get-togethers, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I'd still like to be there. There's some issue there in terms of stormwater too.
That can be highlighted and sent on to Tanya Proctor's team, please, that Bill Sebastian needs to be, and we can work for the stormwater issues on the peninsula, please. Thank you. Sheila.
Yes, Madam Chair. The first thing I want to ask about is the museum, because I'm a community representative on the Hiku Museum, and the museum has put forward a proposal to do quite a big, or hopefully, a development that will benefit Kaitaia at Pioneer House. But as part of that, I understand that the lease of Pioneer House has been renewed to 2030, and we as a board should be seeing the lease.
It could have been under the People Centre, who and the food bank people have not have gone under that. So have we seen anything around
We haven't seen anything. We're expecting to have.
The People Centre?
No. We're expecting to have a report to the November meeting about what the museum's proposal is. And I'd just like to make sure that it's not put off in any way by, anyway, so that's that. The other thing was we got an email from the strategy people, the manager of the strategy department, regarding what they're doing, including what they're doing about climate change and emissions. I queried it and I got a response from the manager saying, well, we've been asked to do this by the minister, and if you know anything I don't, but let me know. Well, obviously I don't. However, seeing as Mark Cameron is saying it's not feasible to have regional councils trying to save the world's climate, I am wondering why staff resources are going into that kind of activity when we're not getting enough roads done or monitoring done and things like that. I would query the priorities of this particular action, I suppose you could say. And I'd like to actually know what scheme. I think that they should wait until
perhaps that could be on our resolution.
Yeah, it could go on our resolution. Till the members' bill goes through, plus the fact that Shane Jones is saying that they're changing the full well-beings back to infrastructure, and so that's what we should be looking at, seeing if we're in sync with what the government's doing. And the last thing is it's a request for submissions to plan variation 1 to the proposed district plan, and this one is actually to Orikiri Farms, which is my son and daughter-in-law, but they are saying that the land is part of the land is located within the coastal tour hazard layer, which is proposed to be added to the proposed district plan in new areas, and you can make a submission. However, why are we doing plans when surely there's a business, the Building Act, if somebody wants to build a house in an area like that, surely the Building Act can look at the area and say that's far too flat or whatever. Because when the board submitted to the proposed district plan, it said that while, recognise that council is required by government to give effect to higher policy documents, but it's also required under the Local Government Act to enable democratic local decision making by and before on behalf of communities. So in essence, it's required to represent the needs of the ratepayers back to the government. That doesn't seem to be happening in terms of this. And also, we asked that the council facilitate, don't force, and don't put bureaucratic deterrents in place. So this coastal hazard thing is surplus when we've got a Building Act to stop people doing things. So that was just...
Thank you.
Sorry, through the chair. Just going back on my report quickly. One thing I asked, and I don't know how far this can go, one thing I asked in that meeting with Paul from Northern England, he's talking about another closure that we're doing for a small period of time, and they're trying to pick when and where and all this sort of thing. Possible closure, I should say. Who's monitoring the fact that all these transport agencies put their prices up because the endurance is shut, but no one ever puts their prices back down, and it's happening time. So they think it's everyone thinks it's a week here, but it's not going to cost us, it's only going to cost us over that period. But these transport agencies are increasing their prices for freight, for everything, and then that price stays where it is after the reopening of the... I don't know if there's anyone that can... How do we keep on top of that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Well, I don't ever see an email from the freight company saying, "Oh, thank you, the Brendurans is open. Here's your discount."
Maybe we have to keep them accountable as consumers.
Well, I just thought...
Just be like, especially when the loan office open, because that's another huge amount of time and miles, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's just happening time and time again, and I don't know how to, but out of the situation, but who would, maybe Kim could help, and who would be our best advocate, Kim, to to protect ourselves in a situation where the prices of things, transport, go up, but they don't seem to come back down when these roads are back open?
I'm just, through the chair, I'm just trying to think that through my head and who would be responsible for that. I don't have an answer for you right now. I certainly don't think it would be a council thing, but it's something that we can look into and progress and see who would be responsible for that.
Yeah. There needs to be a bit of noise around it, because otherwise it just continues to happen.
The Mayor has that joint weekly meeting with business leaders. Perhaps Josh Kirby could ask him.
Yeah. I could talk to Josh to follow that up as well, but yeah, okay.
It's okay. We had no involuntary, and the board needs are wanting to go. So why put the song? Anyway, well, is that everybody?
Through the chair, I've just got one more. Kim, perhaps you could help me. In terms of resource consent on land on huge slopes, like we've just talked about at Matariki, number 8, I think the number is. When they get resource consent, is it resource consent to clear the land for possible building? Is that part of the resource consent, or is it just a purchase and then they're going to clear the land, they can clear it anyway?
No, so depending on the resource consent is to clear the trees, etc., that is on that land, especially if there's a notable tree on that property. And apologies, I'm not all that familiar with the resource consent. And then, of course, there's the buildings consent as well.
It just bothers me that places like that are just waiting to be hazards, just waiting for disaster to happen when they start clearing them like that, and there's nothing there to hold the basically the stability's gone, and I mean really gone. This area between Matariki and Wharawhiwhi, Old Wharawhiwhi Road is steep, and not only that, it's the Haititai Marae that brought that to my notice. And they're concerned, obviously, because if you get cut logs coming down that hill, it's extremely dangerous. So, it just bothers me at this stage that we could get this far.
No, leave it with me and I'll have a look into that and what's going on and get as much information to you as I can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kim, is there any further motions? No. So all in favour? Thank you. And now we can close our meeting with the thank you.
Kia tau tōrangi Māori e ki runanga o ngā iwi o te au. Lord, let your peace reign on Big Liverpool to our community. Amen.
Amen.
Could we end the live stream, please?
Marissa, has North Portland arrived? Northland Sport Northland?
They're coming.
So it didn't get an invite for that, and I think all the board members need a break and need to go home.